Hi everyone! For this video today, we're going to go over how to draw this outlined rose design. It's so simple and it's so pretty and your clients will absolutely love it. So what we're going to do first is I'm going to draw a few on a piece of paper with some acrylic paint just so you can get the feel for it, and then we're going to go ahead and move on to doing it on a small tip. So I'm just going to go ahead and load some paint on my brush. Now when you're doing these roses, you're going to be, whether you're working with gel or acrylic paint, there's going to be a few basic strokes that you will need to know. And you're basically making the letter C over and over again, but it doesn't need to be perfect. It can be an imperfect C, but what you want to do is have a thin end, a thicker, and then a thinner. And you can go ahead and fill in your thinner spots again. So once you get comfortable making these sort of shapes, then you are good to go for actually making your rose. And I don't know if you can see, hopefully you can. There's just a little bit of pressure on my brush when I'm starting working on my letter C, making more and then less. So a little bit of pressure, more, and then less, and that will give you the thickness where you need it to be and the thinness where you need it to be. So let's go ahead and we'll do our rose. And I usually start with my outside petal first. And when you're creating this look, you never want to have anything even or symmetrical. With this design, you can definitely have asymmetrical. You want it to be a little bit odd. I'm not big on even with this. You need to definitely have it to be a little bit out of place. And you just want to work your way in as you're creating your rose. Work from the outside in. I think I would like to add another petal out here. There's no real guidelines for this exact rose. Just sort of go with however many petals you feel that you need. But now that I've got this one here, I'm going to add one more down here. Putting one more right over here would make it so it looks sort of lopsided. There. So now that we've done this, I'm just going to go and touch up a few of my lines, make it a little bit more fleshed out where I need it to be. And we're going to add some little simple leaves as well. So again, we're just going to start with pressure on our brush, push, and lift up and drag. And the beauty of this design, again, it's just abstract. It doesn't have to be perfection. It can be a little bit off, and it's still going to look great. There. So if you want to practice this a little bit on paper before you start doing it on nails, you can. It might be a good idea if you're new to this design until you are comfortable with it, and then you can work with it with a gel or whatever medium you prefer to work with. Now let's do the same design that we just went over on paper. We're going to go ahead and do this on a tip. So what we're going to need for this today is I'm going to be using the Akzentz Performance. We're going to need a little bit of our Enhance. We're going to be using the Options Gel Art Black and the Gel Play Paint in Black. And what I've done is just prepared a tip, and I've just put one thin coat of Luxio blush on there and cured it. So for this design, I'm going to need a sheer black background first. So I'm just going to use a little teeny bit of our Gel Art Black. And I'm going to mix this on a little piece of tile. You can use a piece of tile, a piece of glass, a mirror. You can use the back of your paper forms as well, whatever you would like to mix on. And all we're doing is just creating a really sheer black. You can do this with any color to get that nice sheer effect. And when you're doing this, just a very, very, very thin coat of black. And make sure you get the streaks out of it. You don't want to have a streaky black look, you just want to have a nice sheer black look. And we're going to freeze cure that. I'm going to be using our LED light today. So if you're using your LED light, just a couple seconds for a freeze cure. If you're using your UV light, it's a few seconds more. So let's start doing our rose design. I'm going to do a bigger one up top and then a smaller one down below. So take your time when you're doing these lines. We're not looking for like perfect lines, but you definitely want it to look good. The nice thing with working with the gel play paint as well is that, as you can see, I've done our first rose and I'm just letting it sit there. I don't have to cure this right away. This will stay in place and you can go back and touch it up, maybe drag a line out a little bit, and it's not going to ruin your design. So this is a great working product and you don't have to worry about it drying or curing or moving around. I think I'm going to do one more on the side here. Kind of finish that edge off. It looks a little bit empty. There. So there's our basic roses. I'm just going to go in and add a few little petals to this design, just to fill up a little bit of space. So if you're happy with what you've done, you can go ahead and give this the full cure, 30 seconds in the LED light and 2 minutes in your UV light. And now that this is cured, I'm going to go over with a coat of matte on. I absolutely love this top coat, and especially with this look that we're going for, it gives it this amazing finish, sort of an antique-y kind of brushed finish. It's amazing. So we're going to give this a full cure. Again, 30 seconds or 2 minutes in your UV. Okay, so this has come out of our light. It still looks a little bit shiny. We're just going to wipe this with our Prep and Wipe. There, and it comes out with this wonderfully awesome matte finish. So here's our finished rose nail design, and I've paired this with our Options French Blue, and together those two look absolutely amazing. I love how that French Blue looks with the matte top coat on it as well. So hopefully you guys learned a little bit today. Practice your lines, and I'd love to see your rose designs when you have got them mastered. Thanks so much for watching. Bye!